Hey, it's Brett and Coach here, and tonight I am at Pilot Project here in Logan Square on Milwaukee Ave to try a bunch of different brews and see what we like. And if you are a returning viewer of the channel, you would know that when I was in Milwaukee, I visited that location of Pilot Project, but today I'm in the Chicago one, which is the original. So let's jump right into our flight and see what they got. And keep watching to see what made me say this. This isn't a Saison? But before we jump in, Pilot Project is actually a collective of a bunch of different brewers. They kind of bridge the gap between home brewers and becoming commercial brewers. They allow other people and organizations to come in and use their equipment to make their beer on a slightly larger scale and can sell it right in the tap room. So it's a good way to get businesses and brewers' names out there without having to fully commit thousands of dollars for brewery equipment. With the beer, we did already put a food order in because we are hungry for sure, so look forward to that as well. And as you can see behind me, they actually have a patio that's really nice, especially in the summer months. But unfortunately, with scattered thunderstorms and it's still being mid-spring, a little too chilly to really enjoy it. But it's definitely a worthwhile place to check out if you're in the area. And one of the most famous things, at least in my opinion, to come out of Pilot Project is actually Donna's pickle beer. Yes, it is a dill pickled flavored beer. I've had it before. I like pickles. The beer's not for me. Brian despises pickles. Like, I cannot pay him enough money in the world to eat a pickle, and he had it, and that was a rough experience. But yes, that is arguably the biggest well-known thing from Pilot Project, but it's probably a lot to do with novelty. So let me know in the comments below if you would try the pickle beer. So to start off here, we have an IPA called Frozen Coyote, which comes in at a staggering 8%, so definitely on the strong side. It says it has notes of overripe pineapple, gushers, and the bitterness of cannabis. Granted, it is only alcoholic, there is no other substances in it, but I have never seen a beer with that description before. Little concerning, very intriguing. It smells bitter, so I am now afraid. Hold on, I need a second drink. It does have a subtle sweetness to it that is almost gusher-esque. I don't know if I'm picking up on pineapple, and I don't think it is the bitterness level to use the word that they did. With that, I think it's drinkable. It's not bad for 8%. I expected it more boozy. I would give this a 7. And for the stout that Brian picked out, this is Brushfire coming in at 8%. It says it has notes of dark cherries, roasted toffee, as well as containing lactose and cacao nibs. Great scent to it, very chocolatey, and it says this beer is best experienced in front of a fire or over a good, long, hearty conversation, so that's exciting to hear. I get that description. It has a nice viscosity to it, a hint of chocolate, a hint of cherry. Overall, I enjoy it. I will probably give it a 7.5. This is the Punched Kiss Parasol, which comes in at 4.8%. It is reminiscent of the childhood fruit punch that you would drink. So it has notes of pomegranate, tangerine, and cherries. Great tropical scent to it. I love this color as well. I'm glad it's not the food color red that I associate with fruit punch. Feels a little bit more natural. Has a delicate balance of sweet and sour without being too hefty or forward. Subtly sweet, nice. I almost wish it was a little bit more flavor forward with the fruit punch. But with that being said, I would probably give this a 7. I do enjoy it. For a sour, it's on the right track. And lastly, what I am most excited for, comes in at 4.8%, which is And So She Did, which was actually made for International Women's Day by the staff. It features flavors of pineapple and key lime. That sounded super intriguing, so I knew it had to go into our flight. If you haven't seen my Hot Butcher video, first check that out, because that had a key lime seltzer. This is in the same vein, not quite as powerful for flavor, but key lime is definitely front notes. It does have that good citric acid taste to it, found in a lot of citrus fruits. I really enjoy this. I'd probably give it a 7.5. Light, refreshing, something you would want on the beach. But our food actually arrived, so we're gonna jump into that, as well as Brian tasting our flight.
First up is the Frozen Coyote, the double IPA. Typical smell to it, floral. A little bitter, a little bite, hoppy. Some floral notes to it. I would say that is worthy of a 6.5. Up next is the Stout, which is called Brushfire. It's got some coffee on the nose, quite dark, foamy on the top. Ooh, lots of chocolate flavor, a little bit of coffee, not too thick, not too thin. I would give that a 7. Up next is the Punch Kissed Parasol. It's a sour. Great smells on that. Good flavor, good bite, great fruit taste on that, but easy drinking, that's great. 7. And up next is the Lime Kettle Sour. Looks very much like regular beer. Fruity on the nose. Not too much bite, but there is a little bite to it. Lime definitely comes through on that. I would give that a 7.
Let's dive into my Cuban and Brian's chicken salad sandwich. I'm ready for food. With crab rangoon dip. This is my Cuban with ham, pulled pork, and pickled jalapenos and some sauce and cheese too. Let's jump in. This is a very solid sandwich. Well made, I love the bread, good balance of cheese, good little heat to it with the jalapenos. I'd probably give it an 8.5. Impressive.
It's got the light summer freshie of the chicken salad and then the arugula. Add the bacon onto it, which I didn't actually order, but hey, that's a perk. It tastes wonderful. The bread is nice and soft, a little bit of grill to it. This is a fantastic sandwich.
And let's just grab this off of Brian's plate before he gets too spooked. Oh no, I didn't even grab them all. Spooky. And we got the crab rangoon dip as well. Well seasoned, creamy, a nice balance between the flavors and the cream with the little bit of chill that comes with it. That's a solid 7 within itself. And for tonight, it is bar service only, which is completely fine. I just know that in the past that they've used Toast or a similar system that had custom QR codes on each table and everything would be directly delivered to you. I don't know if that's a seasonal thing because the patio behind me is currently closed, or if that's just a system they moved to, but it's just something I wanted to point out. And with our flight done, let's grab another. And it's interesting to note that if you do get a flight, you get 10% off one item of merch or beer. I describe the atmosphere in here a good mix of clean, modern, but still intimate. Like the lighting is low, everything is polished, but it's still very personable in here. So it's elevated, almost hotel-like, but still able to have a decent conversation. To start off our second flight, this is Mountain Sound coming in at 7.4%, which is described as an IPA that has vibrant pineapple and a sharp resin bite. And it is considered a hazy, so I did expect it almost cloudier or orangier. But with that being said, let's give it a try. It almost has like a Saison smell to it. This isn't a Saison? I'm never the one to point out incorrect things, especially in service work. I am certain this is not an IPA. I am 99.9% this is some form of Saison. I don't know which. There is no way this is a hazy IPA. I don't think this is Mountain Sound, but for this mystery beer, I'd give it a 7.5. I do enjoy it for what it is. What it is not an IPA. I looked over the menu on this mystery beer. There is a chance that it is just Mountain Sound because they don't even have a Saison or even a farmhouse ale on the menu. That could be just this IPA. I personally wouldn't consider it an IPA, but with not knowing for sure if it is or is not the correct beer, hard to really say. We're just going to move on. This is Sindhu, a millet hazy IPA, coming in at 6.9%, using millet from the subcontinent of India. It says it has notes of mango, pineapple, and stone fruit. Strong IPA hoppy scent, so we'll see if it leans more bitter, floral, or fruity. It starts out with something that I really enjoy. It is very fruit forward, but then it quickly turns into that hoppy bitterness that I would either need to immediately take another swig to keep in that fruity notes, because the bitterness I think is a little bit too much for me. I'd probably give this a 6.5. And this is a Mai, which is a Belgian wit beer, the only wit beer on their menu, and it's coming in at a percentage of 4.8%, named after the Finnish expression for amazement. It says it has notes of citrus, spice, and chamomile. And then the tasting notes are coriander, clove, and hops. That sounds like an interesting mix to me, spice-wise, especially in a beer. This smells like an IPA. I'm a little suspicious. I am certain these two are switched. This is an IPA, this is not a wit. I'm even going to switch them on our flight because that is how certain I am. So when Brian tastes them, they're going to be correct. But with that debacle now behind us, let's try our last one in the flight. And if you know anything about me, I love my sours, so I had to round out this flight with the last sour they have on the menu, which is called a Little Idiom. It is coming at 4.8%. That has notes of citrus, candy, and plum. Smells sweet, sour, on brand for the type of beer it is. That citrus lemon comes through very strong. Honestly, this might be my favorite of the night. It drinks almost like a lemon shandy a little bit. I really enjoy it. I'd probably give this an 8.5 overall. But let's throw it over to Brian so he can start tasting too.
First up for me is the Mountain Sound, which after we figured things out, this is the IPA. Probably just the bartender just got things out of order. No big deal. Very citrusy forward. Not really any bite at all of the hop. This is the IPA that I like, where it's just fruit, everything. A little cream on the top, a little foam. The color is beautiful. This is probably my favorite one of the night here. I'm gonna give this an 8.5. Second up is the Sindhu, golden looking, but not the bright yellow of the first one. This is more of a bite, more of a hoppy, a little bit earthy, not as floral. It does taste good, but not my favorite type of IPA. I would give this a 6.5. Next up is the wit beer, which we've figured out. It's a little hazy, but more yellowish. A little foam on the top there. Much more wee, barley-ish. It's a little bit dank. It's a good beer for maybe a fall day. I would give it a 6. To round out this flight, this is the last sour of them, called Little Idiom. Looks kind of golden. Definitely can be a sour on the nose. That's a sour for sure. Definitely bites you on the tongue, but not too much by any means. This is great. I would say 6.5 on this one.
And we are just going to wrap up, keep sipping on our flights, maybe play a little bit of cards to really wind down the night just because they came and gave us last call. With that being said, this has been another Brett and Coach video. Today I was visiting Pilot Project here in Logan Square. Don't forget to comment down below if you've ever been to a brewery like this that is promoting other people's brews, and make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss next video. And like always, I will see you next time in Coach.